Well, hey everybody, welcome back to the channel, welcome back to Vault Hunters. Here we are for another episode. Last time we had done some work in the base automating our lava production. This right here. And as I was editing the video, there was something that I was very curious about. If I have a cauldron, can I use the faucet to pour into another cauldron? And the answer is yes, you actually can move lava from cauldron to cauldron using these faucets. It's pretty neat. What I also found out is you can have a neat little visual if you don't have anything that the lava can actually go into. By this, I mean if we were to have a cauldron and a faucet, like so. You can see I've been doing something over there. We put lava in it and just turn it on. We can have this. It also works with water. I thought that was neat, and of course I did this. Because I can. I was testing this, and this little bit right here sidetracked me to the point where I did this. Something that we could potentially have in the base. I think it could look neat. I don't know. Doesn't look like we can put anything else in there but Minecraft waters, so yeah, neat. Other than the lava production automation, we did, which you can see this thing is steadily gaining power, which is very nice. We also ran some vaults, and I did run the final crystal, and I got this sword, which is nice. It has the lucky hit chance, which is really good because I've started taking a little bit of life leech here. So that deals with lucky hits. That is something new for level 50. And the main thing that we are after really is these knowledge essence. I need 1080. I need 880 more. That will give me enough to finally unlock the Cauldron mod here. Oh, we've got a long way to go before we can do that, and I'm really happy about seeing this. We're not really using a bunch of FE. We're generating more than we're using. Obviously, super nice. And there are a few things that I actually want to do today, and that is setting up some automatic stuff, because technically, this is supposed to be a wall of compacting drawers, and once we can get that far, they will all be compacting drawers. There are a bunch of different metals that I haven't even gotten into, like osmium. What else? There's dimensional shards. That's not going to go in there. Things like mana steel. If we get into botany, these energized steel can go in there. I mean, there's all kinds of different little bits and bobs, like tin and silver. Yep. So, with that being said, we want to keep this space open, and we want to go ahead and actually probably set up a furnace and a blast furnace. I'm not worried about having one of each. And what I'm thinking is we're going to set up these guys right here and here respectively. I want to be able to see these like that. So what I'm going to need to do is a couple of different things. This actually might not work. Now that I think about it. It might work. So these are vanilla furnaces, right? And the thing about these furnaces is you have to put the input items in the top, you have to take the smelted items out of the bottom, but you can put coal into any side of these. I forgot we can do that. So what we're going to need to do is actually take quite a bit of stuff out of here. Ooh, and sleep. So what we need to do is we actually need, and I want to leave this guy open here, so we're going to want to... Ooh, that's perfect. We're just going to come down in here and snag a channel off of this side here. Should be fine. It should only have 2. I think this is going to be fine. It's going to be 8 channels by the time I'm done. Yes, it has 1 and 2. Okay, perfect. I need something. And so it'd be 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8. What we need to create is we need to create ourselves 2 of these import buses, which means I'm going to need like 6 or so of these pistons, and then we're going to need to make 2 of those sticky pistons. We need to make... Oh no. Oh no. Well, I've got 1 import bus. Yeah. I need to make fluix. So we're going to have to back up and look into making the fluix seeds, which is going to require us to throw redstone, Certus quartz, charged Certus quartz at that, and quartz. So we're going to need to make a charger. This guy right here. We should be able to make, no problem. And then we're going to need the growth accelerator. We need fluix for that. So what I'm going to do then is we're going to go... We're going to go and... Yeah, we're going to go. We're going to go find a couple more of those meteorites and see if we can't get some more fluix. I just made 6 of these growth accelerators. We got exactly 6 fluix blocks from 1 of the meteorites we went to, and now we have this crystal growth chamber. I think we're going to need to make another acceptor, which is relatively inexpensive. Yeah. Because we're going to need to put our AE2 machines over here, and the charger does accept normal power. This doesn't need to have the ME glass cable, but it's going to be better for us that it does. So, we can wash these cables and use these gray cables. As a matter of fact, I'm just going to use these guys up. It's no big deal. We should be able to put that right there, and then we're going to have our thing here. If I need to take regular power, I can just go underneath and go over. This is what I wanted in the beginning, is a bunch of these machines like this. So what we need to do now is we need to make a bunch of this fluix right here. Okay, so I need to make some charged Certus quartz, which is throwing a Certus crystal this guy right here into the charger. So I need to make a stack of these, meaning I need a stack of these. Do I have sand? So we'll do this. And as I said before, this would take 20 minutes if we threw it in a water. If we throw it in here, you can see this is going very nicely. And then we will charge each and every one of these in here. Once we have that, we can then grab ourselves nether quartz and redstone dust. So a stack of that, a stack of redstone. And I'm not really worried about that guy there. We will then, at that point, make this. Probably 2 stacks. We got this little river outside the base, and I do not know how long this takes. Or if we can even do that like that. If it has to be like... I think it has to be like that. Yeah, there we go. There we go. Perfect. I'll just take a sample of water to replace, and now we can mix this with sand. And we're just going to grow 4 stacks. So with 1 stack of Certus quartz, actually half a stack of Certus quartz, we made 4 stacks of Fluix. And we're just going to place these in here. And all of these items at the cost of power. Which is no problem, honestly. We're doing pretty good. These are going to grow. And just like that, 4 stacks of crystals. Nice. And what we were trying to make are these import buses, which needs a bunch of this guy. So I'm going to make 16 of these. And then we'll throw this in there. We shouldn't need Fluix for a little while. We should be able to make our annihilation core. We should be able to make our other import bus. We should then be able to now make 4 formation cores so that we can make 4 export buses. And what we need to do is put the import buses on the bottom. We need to put the export bus on the top. And then export bus on the side. And then everything needs to be connected with cable. That right there is how you wash this cable to turn it into a normal color. It didn't need to be a normal color, but there we go. Networking apprentice. So we have this guy hooked up, and what I want to do is I want to take first some coal, and I want to set the filter in the export bus here to coal. That should actually start pushing coal into this slot so it always has a fuel. This one's always going to have a fuel. Very nice. Very nice. Now, as far as the furnace goes, I'm not 100% going to put anything in here because I don't want this just grabbing like all of my cobblestone and smelting it down. I believe there is something that we could put in here for like a... There's a way we could do it, I'm sure, but first things first, I actually need to make these capacity cards, and I need to make 2 of these basic cards. and 2 of these capacity cards. I need to put the capacity cards in here so that we can put more stuff in this export bus. We want to put raw iron in here. That is going to pull any raw iron we have in the system and smelt it. We then want to go ahead and put raw copper, and we'll go ahead and put the raw chromatic iron in here so that when this is done, it will just put it back into there. The raw chromatic iron, we're going to take out of this guy, and we're actually just going to go ahead and put it in this right here, this backpack. Because we want it to be in the system. I'm going to leave it in this one, because we dumped this guy first, and we'll just throw these in the system, and you'll see that it'll pull them immediately in here to smelt. And the nice thing about this is that we can actually come in here and we can place in these facades. And what I'm going to need to do is I'm going to need to craft a little bit more of these cable anchors. And I want to take one of these polished and one more cut andesite. Like that. And we're going to put a polished here, and a boom and a boom. Nice. Nicely packed away, looking pretty good. Looking snazzy, and we have anything that we need. If I want to smelt cobblestone, we can throw it in here. We can let it smelt up, and it'll automatically pull it into the system as stone. Very nice. We could go a step further and unlock the iron furnaces mod, and that would give us access to these better furnaces that have quicker cook times, and we could get all the way up to a netherite furnace. This thing cooks like every couple of ticks, which is really, really nice. But I'm not really worried about that. Yeah, I was just a little sidetracked there. Yeah, I'm not worried about looking up the iron furnaces. This is good enough if I need things. Last thing that we need to set up is going to be this vault recycler. And if you remember, there are things that we have done with this vault recycler. It's going to pull in recycled bits, it's going to pull in all kinds of things, but eventually it's going to pull in the faceted focuses, these guys right here. And we don't necessarily want these going into just anywhere. I think what we ought to be able to do, though, is right in this corner here. I think we ought to be able to put the vault recycler in this spot here. And then hook it up to this storage bus. So that it will take the items. The vault recycler essentially is going to sit right here. So yeah, we want the items to go into here, the faceted focuses, and then we want the rest of the items to go in their respective drawer. I think we can do this. One thing we're going to want is this framed chest, which is a nice little thing. We're going to want our item pipes. And we're going to want our wrench. We may want our filters, but I think we're going to do this with applied energistics. Now, this guy can go right here. This can go right here. And that should be able to just do that right there. The nice thing about this framed chest is I can take this cut andesite and bam. It is a chest. I can dump items into here, but you don't notice it. At this point, I think we need to make another importer. One more of these guys. Off the bottom of this. And just connect it to the system. It actually can connect right here. It doesn't have to connect over here. And it should then try to prioritize items into the drawers and then put them into here. It should be really, really easy. And all we need to do is make another logic processor. Once we've done that, we can make the annihilation core. We can make the piston. We can then do all of that. And now we should be able to make more glass cable. Because of the flux we created, we should then be able to come down here and put the importer there. And there we go. There we go. Let's look up some joules. Let's see if we can't find like this guy. Excuse me. I did update the pack, and I can't pull... Can't pull joules out of here? That is weird. But it is pulling the silver scrap and the gemstones. You saw that. And what we should see here is no silver scrap, no gemstones went into this chest. And we would see them in these slots if we had them. So that is a success. The only thing that I don't like is the fact that I cannot pull my jewels out of this chest. That is interesting and weird. I do love, however, we now have automatic smelting. We just throw the raw items in here, and anytime we want to, we can actually change. Game just crashed. But we can change the filter inside of the... No, it didn't. I hit the window key. Ah, nice. Anyway. Yeah, we can just come in here and we can change the filter on the top. And add more stuff or just change it. Not being able to pull the jewels out of the chest is going to be something that I definitely bring up to the community in the Discord and probably Reddit. Maybe we'll make a quick little video on this. But there's a lot of things that have been added and tweaked. I don't know all of the ins and outs, but I know things like the Novas and stuff like that. These abilities have been kind of revamped. Especially in the way that some of these were just overpowered. And I think this is new? Fireball? Which is pretty neat. We already have the javelin, and I did take the piercing enchantment or specialization, which is awesome. It is just awesome. Yeah, we're gonna definitely keep looking at those, but one thing that it added is these wands. You can find these in ornate chests, and that ought to be pretty neat. We did find also, or I'm sorry, they revamped the idols. Basically, I believe everything that can go in your offhand has been changed and revamped. So we're gonna keep all of that in mind, and I've kind of thought about reverting back to the old save. It's just gonna be a nuisance to have to go through this chest. That's why we have the digital storage. The other thing that we could do is, what is it called? It's called an ME drive. We can make the ME drive, this guy right here. It's not too expensive, and then we could come over here and we could make these storage cells. Let's see. Which is just a little bit of stuff that's not too bad, and then the 4K cells are not too bad. 16K cells are a little expensive. And the 64K is extremely expensive. That's I remember now. That's why I did not go this route and I went colossal chests instead. Maybe it'll be fixed soon. I don't know. It's not, like I said, it's not a huge deal. We're not going to be messing with any kind of jewels and stuff until we get to level 65. Level 65, we will then look at potentially upgrading. In the latest version of Vault Hunters, it looks like I cannot pull any of these jewels. I'm trying to pull these out from the AE2 system into my inventory from a colossal chest. If I come down in here into the colossal chest, of course I can grab these, and of course I can come in here and put this into here, but I cannot pull them out, which... Really? That's the problem? That's the fix? We have to pull all of our jewels out and then place them in? No way. No way. I cannot believe that that is the fix for this. All the jewels are out of the system. That was the fix. So easy. But anyway, I'm really happy with the things that we got set up today. We've got the charger and the growth chamber. That was really nice. We have the automation for different things in the blast furnace. I can come in here and smelt things in the furnace. I actually did smelt up a little bit of charcoal, which was pretty nice. I really love that, and then I love the fact that we have the vault recycler back up and running. That is super, super nice, and I cannot wait to be able to kind of use these things and see them in action. We're going to have to go either mining or potentially run some vaults. Now, looking in here, we did talk about, speaking of running vaults, we did talk about our knowledge essence, and we need about 880 more to get the 15 required stars for Cagerium mod. And I don't know. Ooh. I think that Cagerium is going to be the way to go, because the mob cage is just chromatic steel and this ominous skull. This does require a wither skeleton skull and some black chromatic steel. It's not too bad. The mob terrarium are for passive mobs. The binding plate is for the boss mobs, and the mob cage is for any other hostile mobs. So this isn't too bad. And then we have the burning upgrade, which we can put in like the passive mobs to create cooked foods. We do have some decent eggs here, and we can start getting some things. So with that, I need to make about 17 crystals because we averaged 50 dust roughly. We had about 0 dust in here. I think I had like 6 or 7, but we averaged about 50 per vault. We need 880. 800 times 2 is 16, 17. That would get us 850. And I'm banking on potentially having more. So we are going to make a bunch of these vault crystals. And then we will get these, or it's a vault rock. We're going to make a bunch of vault rocks, and then we will start getting them into crystals so that we can run just an absolute ton of vaults. That only took like 2.5 hours for me to actually create all of these crystals. I had to go do a lot of slaying of zombies. Rotten flesh was a very common thing, so was copper. But I have 17 vault crystals here. We're going to run these, and I'm not really worried about completing the vaults. I am worried about loot. That is what we want more of than anything else. Now, one other thing that has come to play with our level 50 is this guy right here, Hunt the Guardians. I believe I did one of these vaults. And we may, I really like that vault, so we may make a seal, depending on what we get in these different crystals. Now, I did say something along the lines about putting these vault runs up and showing you guys what we do. Sometimes I have an issue with recording and crashing and vaults, and this is a pretty intensive pack, and my little computer can't always run it. So we'll see what we can do, but I'm going to run 17 vaults back to back. And when we come back next episode, we will look at all of the different loot and hopefully get into a couple other things like Cagerium and potentially getting into this wireless stuff, maybe. Looking at it though, it's not too expensive. I just don't think we're going to be able to make any of these wireless boosters because they require this ender dust. Ooh, no, we can do it. We can do it in the inscriber. Nice. Other than that, these don't look too bad. We need a dense cell. We need a wireless receiver and an ME terminal. We already made one of these. We have this actually. So that is just something we may look into in the future, but for now, that is where we are going to end things. We got some automation done today. We got a bunch of vault crystals to run. Wish me luck. We are going to run these back to back to back to back. So, I better get after it. Looting is the name of the game. Completion is not something I care about. But anyway, thank you guys so much for watching. If you enjoyed the episode, you know the routine. Leave a like, comment, subscribe if you're new. Thank you so much for watching, and I will see you on the next one.